Once upon a time, in a faraway land where the mountains met the horizon, there existed a peaceful place called Sunny Valley. This valley was unlike any other in the world. The sunlight kissed every hilltop and stream, and the air was always filled with the scent of blooming flowers. It was a magical valley where creatures of all kinds lived in harmony. Deer grazed alongside rabbits, birds sang sweet melodies in the trees, and even the tiniest insects buzzed happily in the meadows. But among all the creatures in the valley, there was one little pinecone who always felt out of place. His name was Piney, the tiniest pinecone you'd ever see. Piney wasn't like the other pinecones that had grown strong and large in the trees. He had fallen early, long before he had fully matured. He had small, uneven scales, and while the other pinecones glistened in the sunlight, Piney felt dull and unimportant. Piney lived beneath a grand old pine tree at the edge of Sunny Valley. From his little spot on the forest floor, he would gaze out at the world around him and long for adventure. Every day, he watched the animals in the valley, the bees collecting nectar, the deer leaping across streams, and the squirrels playing in the trees. Piney's dream was simple. He wanted to explore the world beyond his little patch of forest. He wanted to see what lay beyond the hilltops, where the sky met the earth. One autumn morning, as the crisp wind blew through the valley, Piney looked up to see a golden object rolling toward him. It tumbled down a hill, glowing in the early morning sun. As it came closer, Piney realized it was a pumpkin, a very large, round, golden pumpkin. "Hello there," the pumpkin said with a cheerful voice as it came to a stop beside Piney. "I didn't mean to roll down here so suddenly. My name is Pumpy, the golden pumpkin." Piney, surprised that the pumpkin could talk, gathered up his courage and replied, "Hello. My name is Piney. I'm just a tiny pine cone. Nothing special." Pumpy rolled in place, his golden surface sparkling in the sunlight. "Oh, don't say that. Everyone is special, in their own way. I may be big and shiny, but I've never seen anyone as small and brave as you, Piney." "Brave?" Piney asked, a little confused. "Of course," Pumpy said. "I saw you from the hill. Every day, you sit here, dreaming of adventures and wonders. That takes bravery, you know, to dream of something beyond what you see." Piney felt a warmth fill his heart. Maybe, just maybe, he was special after all. "I've always wanted to see the world," he said quietly. "But I'm just so small. What if I get lost or forgotten?" Pumpy gave a gentle roll forward. "That's exactly why you must go on an adventure, Piney. The world is vast and full of wonders, and you'll never know how amazing it can be unless you take that first step. Besides," Pumpy added with a wink, "you won't be going alone. I'll go with you." Piney couldn't believe it. The thought of traveling with such a magnificent pumpkin made his tiny scales tingle with excitement. "You mean it?" Piney asked, his voice trembling with hope. "Of course I do," Pumpy said. "And not just me. There are others in this valley who love adventure too. I'm sure we'll meet them along the way." And so, with a surge of courage, Piney made his decision. He would leave his spot beneath the pine tree and venture out into the wide world with his new friend, the golden pumpkin. Their journey began the very next morning. Piney rode on top of Pumpy, who rolled smoothly along the valley floor, his golden surface reflecting the light of the rising sun. The trees whispered in the gentle breeze, and the birds chirped their encouragement as Piney and Pumpy made their way deeper into the valley. As they traveled, they came across a bubbling stream that wound its way through the valley like a silver ribbon. And on the banks of the stream, they saw something unusual, a small group of tiny, glowing creatures dancing in the sunlight. They had shimmering wings and were no taller than Piney himself. "Who are they?" Piney whispered, mesmerized by their graceful movements. "Those," Pumpy whispered back, "are the fairies of Sunny Valley. They bring joy and laughter wherever they go." The fairies twirled and leaped through the air, their wings casting rainbows in the sunlight. As Piney and Pumpy watched, one of the fairies noticed them and flew over. She had bright, sparkling eyes and a crown of flowers in her hair. "Greetings, travelers," the fairy said, her voice as light as the breeze. "I am Faye, the leader of the dancing fairies. What brings you to this part of the valleys?" Piney felt a little shy, but he spoke up. We're on an adventure. I've always wanted to see the world, and Pumpy is helping me. Faye smiled brightly. An adventure? How wonderful! We fairies love adventures. Perhaps we could join you for a while and dance along your path. Piney's heart leaped with joy. You would really join us? Of course, Faye said with a twirl. Adventure is always better with friends. And so, the fairies joined Piney and Pumpy on their journey. They danced ahead of them, lighting up the path with their glowing wings and filling the air with music and laughter. The valley seemed even more beautiful with the fairies leading the way. As they traveled further, they came across many wonders. They saw towering waterfalls that cascaded down from the mountains, sparkling in the sunlight like rivers of diamonds. They wandered through meadows filled with flowers of every color imaginable, and in the distance, they could see the edge of the valley where the hills rose into the sky point one evening, as the sun began to set, painting the sky in shades of pink and gold. Piney and his friends came to a clearing. In the middle of the clearing was a large stone, and atop the stone sat a glowing object, a friendly star. It twinkled brightly, casting a soft, warm light over the clearing. Welcome, travelers, the star said in a gentle voice. I am Stella, the friendly star. I've been watching your journey from above, and I'm very impressed by your bravery, little Pinecone. Piney blushed. I'm just trying to see the world, he said modestly, and you're doing a marvelous job, Stella said with a wink. But your adventure is far from over. There are many more wonders to discover, and perhaps even a mystery or two. Would you like some help? Piney's eyes widened. Help? From a stars? Of course, Stella said with a twinkle. Stars are excellent at finding hidden paths and guiding travelers. I can show you a way beyond the valley, to places you've never imagined. Piney could hardly contain his excitement. That sounds amazing. What do you think, Pumpy? Should we go? Pumpy gave a cheerful roll. I think we should. Adventures are meant to be filled with surprises, after all. Faye and the other fairies clapped their hands and danced in delight. Oh, this will be so much fun, Faye said. With Stella's help, we can go anywhere. And so, with Stella the friendly star leading the way, Piney, Pumpy, and the dancing fairies continued their journey. They traveled through the darkest parts of the valley, where the trees grew tall and thick, and the moonlight barely reached the forest floor. But Stella's light guided them through every twist and turn, and soon they found themselves standing at the edge of the valley beyond the valley. The land stretched out in every direction. There were mountains and forests, rivers and lakes, and far off in the distance, Piney could see something shimmering in the light of the setting sun. What is that? Piney asked, his voice filled with wonder. That, Stella said, her light glowing even brighter, is the ocean of stars. It's a place where the stars come down to rest on the water, and the sky and sea become one. Piney could hardly believe his eyes. He had never seen anything so beautiful in all his life. Can we go there? He asked. Of course, Stella said. With your bravery and the help of your friends, there is nowhere you cannot go. And so, with hearts full of wonder and excitement, Piney, Pumpy, the dancing fairies, and Stella the friendly star set off toward the ocean of stars. Along the way, they faced challenges and obstacles, but with courage and friendship, they overcame them all. The journey was long and full of adventures, and Piney discovered that he was braver and stronger than he had ever imagined. And in the end, he realized that it wasn't the size of the pinecone that mattered, but the size of his heart and the friends he had made along the way. As they reached the shores of the ocean of stars, Piney looked out at the shimmering water, and for the first time in his life, he felt truly at home. The world was vast and full of wonders, but Piney knew that as long as he had his friends by his side, there was nothing he couldn't do, and so, Piney the tiny pinecone, Pumpy the golden pumpkin, Faye and the dancing fairies, and Stella the friendly star spent their days exploring the world, sharing laughter, and creating memories that would last forever to the end.